Today we're going to look at compound inequalities and also word problems. So for the warm-up fraction, bust this up to solve for x. So we want to get rid of the fractions here so we can solve for x. To do that, we look for a least common denominator. What is the smallest number that 3 and 4 both go into? Well, they both go into 12. So we're going to multiply everything here by 12. If we're showing our work, here's what it looks like. 12 times 2/3 minus 12 times x over 4 equals 12 times 10. All right, let's simplify. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Minus 12 divided by 4 is 3. So we have 3x equals 12 times 10, which is 120. We'll subtract 8 from each side. Okay, so we get 112. So we have negative 3x equals 112. Divide by negative 3, so x equals we change it to a decimal, negative 37.3 repeating. Okay, we have two learning targets today. I can read a word problem, define variables, and write and solve a linear inequality. I can solve and graph a compound inequality. So let's start with the learning target 1. Define a variable, write an inequality, and solve each problem. So here's the first one. Trez is saving up for a car that's a little over $6,000. He gets $750 each month from his grandparents and has $1,500 saved up already. How many more months must Trez save to buy his car? Okay, so the car's a little over $6,000. This is how much he gets per month. He has this much saved up already. All right, so we have $1,500 saved up. We're getting $750. The variable here is per month, so $750 times each month. And this has to be greater than $6,000 because he needs it. The car's a little bit over $6,000. All right, let's solve this. So first step, subtract $1,500 from each side. We get 750m is greater than 1,000 minus 1,500, 4,500. We're going to divide each side by 750. So 4,500 divided by 750. So the number of months is greater than 6. So after 6 months, then he'll have enough to save up for that car or to buy that car. Azaria is working at Old Navy. She makes about $90.15 a week and has $200 saved. She wants over $1,000 in savings. How long will it take her? All right, so she has $200 in savings. She makes $90.15 per week, and she wants this to be greater. Oh, so per week is the variable. So weeks. We want over $1,000. Okay, here's our inequality. Now we solve. So minus 200 from each side. We get 90.15w is greater than 800. To get rid of the 90.15, we'll divide. So here w has to be greater than so after 8.87 weeks, she'll have over $1,000 if she doesn't spend any money from that account. Okay, there's some kind of inequalities that are called compound inequalities, which means like there's two inequalities in one. Compound means two or more. So let's take a look at the or statements. So for this statement, number 1, x is greater than or equal to 5 or x is less than 2. Let's graph this on a number line here. So I'm going to draw my number line. Okay, so for this one right here, we have the 5 and we have the 2. So I'm going to start at 2. Okay. So x is greater than or equal to 5. Let's graph that first. All right, greater than or equal to means closed dot, color on the side. Or x is less than 2. So I'll do that in blue. So less than 2 means open dot, because it doesn't include 2, but it's less than 2. So here's what a compound inequality can look like. You can shade in more than one region of your line. All right, let's try the next one. 4x plus 3 is less than 11, or 3x minus 4 is greater than 8. All right, so basically this is two problems in one that you have to solve. So let's solve this first one. Subtract 3 from each side first. 4x is less than 8, divide by 4. So our first statement is x is less than 2. Or, let's solve the other one. Let's add 4 to each side. I meant to change colors here. So we got 3x is greater than 12 divided by 3. So x is greater than 4. All right, let's graph that on a number line. I'll do it up here. So you have a 2 and a 4. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. So x is less than 2. All right, so like the last one, less than 2. I'll do this in red. Open circle. Or x is greater than 4, so I'll do that in blue. Open circle, greater than 4. Here's what it looks like. Compound inequality, 2 inequalities in one graph. All right, and statements look like this. 2 is less than or equal to x plus 10, which is less than or equal to 16. All right, this one, let's solve both equations at the same time. So it's kind of like I'm going to draw 2 lines here. All right, so we have x plus 10. How do we get rid of the plus 10? We're going to subtract 10. But we're going to subtract 10 from all of the sides here. So 2 minus 10 is negative 8, which is less than or equal to x, which is less than 6. So here's what we're going to do. Graph our oops, I didn't mean to do that. All right, so negative 8 is the smallest. Negative 8. And let's go up by 2. So negative 8, negative 6, negative 4, negative 2, 0, 2, 4, 6. Okay, so we have a closed dot at negative 8, an open dot at 6, and x is between them. So color this in between, and this will mean x is between negative 8 and 6. All right, let's try the next one. Again, it's like solving 2 and 1, so draw 2 lines. For this one, add 10 again like last time to get rid of the 10, minus 10. Just say plus 10 here. And we'll get negative 4 plus 10 is 6, is less than 2x, which is less than or equal to 16. To get rid of the 2, we divide by 2. I'm going to, again, change colors. 3 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 8. Okay, let's graph that inequality. I'll do it up here. So between 3 and 8 is what this is saying. So here's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And at 3, open circle. At 8, closed circle. And then we're going to color in between. Okay, last one, number 5. Second to last one, there's a word problem. X minus 4 over 7 is less than 2, and x plus 16 over 3 is greater than or equal to negative 2. 2 problems in one. Solve each one separately this time. First step, to get rid of the divided by 7, multiply each side by 7. So we have x minus 14 is less than 14. Add 14 to each side. So we get x is less than 28. Okay, let's try the other one. First step, multiply each side by 13. I'm going to do this over here. We have x plus 16 greater than or equal to negative 13 minus 16 from each side. So we have x is greater than or equal to negative 29. Okay, so x is less than 28, but greater than or equal to negative 29. So this basically is saying x is less than 28. 28 is the big end, but x is bigger than or equal to negative 29. This is the small end. So this is saying x is between negative 29 and 28. So if we draw a number line, I'm going to say this is negative 29. This is all the way up to 28. And x is less than or equal to this, and less than that. So here it is, between 29 and 28. Real-world example, Fiona made a score of 76 on her exam. For her to get a B in the course, the average of her midterm must be between 80 and 89 inclusive. What possible scores would give Fiona a B in the course? All right, so here's her average. So we're averaging these. So remember, when you average two things, you divide by 2. So here it is. Midterm score plus final score, which we don't know. The average of that, so that divided by 2, must be between 80 and 89. All right, let's solve this. It's a compound inequality. So we do the same thing on both sides. First step, multiply everything by 2. We get 160 is less than or equal to x plus 76, which is less than or equal to 178. Subtract 76 from all sides. 160 minus 76 is 84, so we have 84 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 102. So she's got a score between an 84 and a 102 to be between 80 and 89. Okay, so for your assignment, you're going to practice this compound inequalities idea, which is really two inequalities in one, and graphing.